Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel, Rising Sun Online Math Class. Today we want to talk about indices. Indices is a beautiful concept of mathematics that deal with numbers and powers. This indices is just a plural of index, which means power, and also called an exponent. When a number is raised to the power of 1, when a number is, let me as example, if you have 2 raised to the power of 1, this one here is called index, while the 2 is the base. When a number is raised to the power of 5, more than 1, let me use 2 raised to the power of 5. This 5 here is called indices, while the 2 remain the base. But when a number raised to the power of unknown variable, this unknown variable is called an exponent. It's called an exponent, while the base, the 2 here remain as the base. And before we can be able to solve any problem on indexes, we must first of all know the rules and the laws that govern on indexes. Because without knowing the rules and laws of indexes, there is no way we can be able to solve any problem on indexes. That will say that the analysis and the simplification of indexes, we say that it depends on the basic interpretation of the rules and laws of indexes. So let's enumerate the rules and laws of indexes. So number 1 rule and laws of indexes, you have number 1, numbers with 0 power. Number with 0 power. Number with 0 power, we say that it can be taken as 1. That will say that in indices, any number raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Any number raised to the power of 0, even if it's 1 million, as far as it's raised to the power of a 0, is equal to 1. That will say that if you have a raised to the power of 0, we say that it's equal to 1. And 1000 raised to the power of 0 is also equals to 1. So number 2, rules and laws of indexes. Number 2, we have numbers with negative power. We have numbers with negative power. We say that numbers with negative power can be taken as a reciprocal of the result, the reciprocal of the number when the negative sign is removed. That will say that if you have a raised to the power of -1, this negative is going to be removed and replaced with 1, which is 1 over a raised to the power of 1. And any number raised to the power of 1 is that number. That will say that here it will be 1 over a, number with a negative power. We replace this negative as what? 1. We say that number with a negative power can be taken as a reciprocal of the number when the negative sign is being removed. So as example again, if you have 2 raised to power of, let me use -3. 2 raised to the power of -3. 2 raised to the power of -3 can be written as 1. We have taken this negative as 1 over 2 raised to the power of 3, which is equals to 1 over, and the 2 raised to the power of 3 is same as 2 times 2 times 2, which is equals to 1 over 8. That will say that 2 raised to the power of -3 is the same thing as 1 over 8. So number 3, we have number with fractional numbers with fractional power. We say that numbers with fractional power can be simplified by taking the denominator of the fraction as a root and also taking the numerator of the same fraction as the power of the result remaining. That is to say that if you have a raised to the power of b over n, this a here is the base, while b is the numerator of the fraction, while n here is the denominator of this fraction. So taking the denominator as a root will give us nth root of a raised to the power of b. I have converted this to this form. So whenever you are given any question on indices, so you give it as a number with a fractional power, you can equally convert it as a root. From example, if you have 27 raised to the power of 2 over 3, 27 raised to the power of 2 over 3, this 2 here is the numerator. The 2 is the numerator, while 3 here is the denominator. So 27 is still the base. So, and the number with a fractional power say that we take the denominator of this fraction as a root. That will say that taking this as a root now, which is 3, will be giving us as a cube root of 27 raised to the power of what? 2. And here is 27. You ask yourself, what number are you going to raise to 3 that will give you the same 27? You find out that 3 raised to the power of 3 will give us 27. 3 raised to the power of 3 will give us 27. So use this 3 now and cancel this cube root, leaving it with 3 raised to 2. And 3 raised to the power of 2, or 3 squared, is equals to 9. We have gotten this as equals to 9. That is numbers with powers, indices. So no matter the way they give you the question, you try to change it to another form and get your answer. That is to say that it's very, very necessary to know the rules and the laws that govern indices. So number 4, we have number 4. Number 4, number with negative fractional power. Numbers with negative fractional power. Number with negative fractional power can also be written or be taken or be simplified by taking the negative as a reciprocal, which is 1 over, and also take the denominator of that fraction as the root, where the numerator of the same fraction is still remain the power of the result remaining. That will say that if you have a, again, raised to the power of minus b over n, the first one I use b over n, but this one I put negative because it's number with a negative fractional power. So this a raised to the power of minus b over n can be broken or can be changed to 1 over, this negative here have changed as 1 over, this n is going to be the nth root, you put n here, which a remains the same, raised to the power of what? B. I have converted this to this form. Or if you have the same 27 raised to the power of minus 2 over 3, this 27 raised to the power of minus 2 over 3 can also be taken or be broken as 1 over the cube root, this 3 here, taking it here, which is the denominator, as a cube root of 27 raised to the power of 2. You can go ahead and simplify this further, if you go ahead and simplify this further, here will give us 1 over the cube root. 27 is the same thing as 3 raised to the power of 3 all square. And this 3, we cancel this 3, this cube root, leaving us as 1 over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. Our answer now is 5. We have product of numbers of the same base. Product of number of the same base. Product of number of the same base can also be simplified by taking one of the bases and summing their powers. That will say that if you have y raised to the power of b times y raised to the power of c, this can be broken as taking one of the bases. The bases here now are y and y. If you take one of the bases and you add their powers, which is b plus c. We also have division number 6. We also have division of numbers. Division of numbers of the same base. Division of numbers of the same base can also be simplified by taking one of the bases and subtracting their powers, which is if you have a raised to the power of b divided by a raised to the power of c, or a raised to the power of b over a raised to the power of c. This can be simplified by taking one of the bases, which is a, and subtracting their powers. Their powers now is b minus c. This one is division of number with the same base, taking one of the bases and subtracting their powers. Number 7, we have numbers with double power. Numbers with double power. Numbers with double power can be written as if you have a raised to the power of b bracket raised to the power of c. We say that this can be written as a raised to the power of bc. That is say that number with 0 power, numbers with double power, can be simplified by combining the two powers using multiplication. So if you add multiply b times c, it will give you a raised to the power of what? bc. Finally, we have number 8. Number with power and bracket. Number with power and bracket, if you have a raised to ab, a raised to the power of xb, here can be simplified as a raised to the power of x times b raised to the power of 1. Also, if you have ab raised to the power of x, we're talking about number with a power and bracket. If you have ab raised to the power of x, this can be broken as a raised to the power of x times b raised to the power of x, because this x here is distributive. So this is all about the rules and the laws of indexes. If you know these rules and laws of indexes and abide by it, you know that there is no any way they will bring question from indexes. You cannot be able to solve it. So let's take little example and we'll call it a day. So knowing the rules and the laws that govern indices, so let's take some examples. We say that we should evaluate the following. Number one, cube root of 9 times 6 root of 9. If you have solution, you have cube root of 9 times 6 root of 9. We are asked to evaluate this, and since you know the rules and laws of indices, here you can change this cube root as a number with a fractional power according to the law of indices. So here will be 9 raised to the power 1 over 3 times, here also will also be 9 raised to the power 1 over 6. We have changed this cube root and 6 root to this form. Now we go ahead under the law of indices that talk about the product of the same base, that we should take one of the bases and summing their powers. You find out that here is 9 raised to the power of 1 over 3 times 9 raised to the power of 1 over 6. Now we are going to take one of the base and sum their powers. That will say that here will be 9 raised to the power of 1 over 3 plus 1 over 6. Now, since you have gotten to this extent, and here is addition, so we are going to take the LCM of 3 and 6, and we find out that the LCM of 3 and 6 is 6. The lowest common multiple of 3 and 6 is 6, because 3 can divide 6 and 6 can divide itself. So that will say that if this 3 divided by 6, we have 2. That 2 times 1 is 2, plus 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1, which is equals to 9 raised to the power of 2 plus 1 is giving us as 3 over 6. And 3 over 6 can also be broken down as 9 raised to the power, if 3 cancel itself, 1 into 6, you have 2, which is 1 over 2. We have it as 9 raised to the power of 1 over 2. Now let's convert this 9 raised to the power of 1 and 1 over 2 back to initial question. Now, if you listen very well according to the rules and laws of indices, under the number with a fractional power, that I say that you should take the denominator of the fraction as root. Here we have this now as square root of 9 raised to the power of 1. And you know very, very well that any number raised to the power of 1 is that number, which is square root of 9 is equals to 3. We have gotten this as equals to 3. So let's take number 3. After solving number 3, I will leave number 2 for you to solve and bring your answer to my page. So let's take number 3. Number 3 here, we have 81 raised to the power of 3 over 4 minus 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3 divided by 3 times 2 raised to the power of 3. So I will advise you to take this one after the other. When taking it one after the other, we'll now combine both of them and get your final answer. Let's start from 81 raised to the power of 3 over 4. 81 raised to the power of 3 over 4 can be broken as, here now is 4, 4th root, change it to the 4th root of 81 raised to the power of 3, which is equals to, you now ask yourself, because of here now is 4, 4th root, you now ask yourself, what number are you going to raise to 4 that will give you 81? You find out that here is 4th root. You find out that 3 raised to the power of 4 is what? 81. And this 4 will cancel this 4, leaving it as 3 raised to the power of 3. and 3 raised to the power of 3 is something as what? 27. We have gotten 81 raised to power of 3 over 4 as 27. So let's take 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3 and see what you're going to get again. We have also you have 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3. You are going to have cube root of 27, because any number raised to the power of 1 is that number. So you have cube root of 27 raised to the power of 1. And you also ask yourself, what number are you going to raise to 3 that will give you 27? Because of 3 is here. We are looking for a number to do away with this cube root. We find out that 3 raised to the power of 3 is something as 27. And this 3 will cancel this, leaving us as what? 3. That will say that 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3 is equals to 3. Finally, we have 3 times 2 raised to the power of 3. Here now will be 3 times 2 raised to the power of 3, the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 into 3 places, which is equals to 8. You have 3 times 8, which is equals to 24. Now let's combine all these results and see what you're going to get. Now from the initial question, as we have 81 raised to the power of 3 over 4 minus 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3 divided by 3 times 2 raised to the power of 3, which is equals to 81 raised to the power of 3 over 4, we got it as 27. Minus, here is minus 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3, we get it as 3 over, which is the division. 3 times 2 raised to the power of 3, we have it as what? 24, which is equals to 27 minus 3 give us what? 24 over 24. And 24 divided by itself, we have it as equals to 1. That will say that all these questions here is equals to 1. Thank you, and may God bless you. Don't forget to click on my website, Rising Sun Online Math Class. And this class will be given to you in 2 languages, both Igbo and English. Wait for me on my language, Igbo. Thank you.